Hi, I'm Marita Kelly and I'm here with two of Tarantella Fall, Ronan and Chris. How are you doing, guys?
We're doing very well. Good.
Where does the name Tarantella Fall come from?
Well, myself and Chris are both big Tom Waits fans, and Tom Waits has a song called Tango Till They're Sore on the album Rain Dogs, and in that song he mentions, and I play that tarantella. So I was curious, what is a tarantella? So power of Google, looked it up, and it turns out it's an Italian folk dance, and that when danced solo and erratically, it acts as an antidote to the poisonous bite of a tarantula. Legend has it. So we looked it up a bit further, and it turns out there's 7 bands in the world with the name Tarantella, including a heavy metal band in New York. So we did a bit more digging, and there's a poet called Hillaire Belloc who has a poem called Tarantella, and the very last line of the poem refers to a waterfall. So we plucked the fall, attached it to Tarantella Fall.
And the name
That's
was
us.
Born. How did you get together then?
Well, I suppose I've been in previous bands and I'd accumulated quite a number of songs, and what I wanted to do was put a band of guys together to record an album and put it out there of my own material. So I called on Chris and other band members that I've been in and out of throughout bands throughout the years, got the guys around, and we started rehearsing the songs and working arrangements, and booked the studio, went in and recorded, and post that we were so happy with the recordings, we said, look, we got to get out there now, we got to promote this. And so since then, we're now all 4 of us are getting into the writing process, and for album number 2, while the core intent is still the same, it's a bit more of a rock and roll kind of sound for album number 2. You know, so we're really excited about that, and we've a lot of tunes coming through. So while there's still a lot of that same kind of sound, or the same intent, it's got a bit more grr factor.
And had you been in other bands similar to this beforehand?
No, not similar to this.
Go on and wait for you to say, yeah, the Curbs are exactly the same. They didn't have a bowler hat.
No, they didn't have a bowler hat. We were in a band called the Curbs. Myself and Chris were in a band called an alternative blues band called Johnny One Ball and the Castratos. So we'll go into that another time. But so it was a mixture of those 2 bands, pulled them together, and no, the sounds were very different. And I suppose for me, at heart, the kind of songwriting that I'm interested in, kind of sound that I'm interested in, is that kind of American folk rock kind of sound, I suppose. You know, Springsteen, Neil Young, Tom Waits, Petty, that kind of thing. And a lot of these songs would reflect that. You know, probably not as talented, but reflect that.
Along the same lines then.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you mentioned your bowler hat. I'm really admiring it. I love
That's
it.
the only reason he rang me, to get into the band, because he knew I had a bowler hat and big Tom Waits fan, so he says, I need you to join my band.
I didn't get the invitation at all about the dress code. We're like a zebra crossing here.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
I don't know,
And we have our white outfits for the boy band version of the tour, but we just missed the memo.
the white linen.
But I love your hat. Can I try on your hat?
Of course you're putting your hand, yeah.
I love your hat. Thank you. Now we can discuss the album now. Thank you very much.
Would you like to join the band?
I'd love to join the band.
And he's got the white thing going on already.
I'm perfect for the new album. Speaking of this album, Abandoned Road.
Yes.
Tell me what the song Abandoned Road is about. 6 o'clock in the morning, girl isn't there, Jessica, what's it about?
Well, I suppose there's a central character in the album called John Wilmore, and John Wilmore is one of these guys who always makes the wrong decisions, but believes he's making the right decision. And what happens is that he becomes reacquainted with his estranged daughter many years later, and John's been involved and done a lot of bad things in his life, and basically what happens is that his daughter Jessica gets kidnapped, yes, and abducted, and in a way John feels almost like this is karma catching up with him, and the song is about that abduction and what happens, and I won't spoil the end.
But this fictional character then runs out through the whole album.
Yeah, well, as Ronan said, we're big Tom Waits fans, and you know Tom Waits, he's a very big character. You know, everything's a character. Everything's about a character. And Jessica, my sweet, they have taken you for all I've done. The line that Ronan wrote in Abandoned Road. When I read that, there was something there. I just said, why would somebody take somebody's daughter like that, like, you know, and do it. So basically I kind of laid the pages out, and that's, it was never wrote as, the album wasn't actually wrote as a concept. So when I just looked for a character, looked for somewhere to sing from. So when I kind of read that, I was kind of saying, "Jeez, what could you done?" And then started looking at the other songs, and without getting too deep into the other songs, they're all got this pretty dark theme running through them. So they actually just accidentally completely fell together. I remember like seeing this and ringing around and going, "Oh my God, look at this, Ronan." I mean, I felt as though I was like stumbling across this little nugget of gold within all these songs, like, you know, that there's a story here, like, you know. So
I read somewhere that you actually love the name Jessica. Why do you love the name Jessica?
That's a really weird thing, actually. And I remember years ago working, I used to work in a pharmaceutical. That's actually where I went.
We met, yeah.
And I remember just this thing, and I was talking to one of the girls, and we were talking about names that we love, and I was saying Jessica. You know, I just love the name Jessica. There's just something cool to it. So years later, then Ronan has this song, and Jessica is his daughter. It's just kind of a strange little thing, like, you know.
It was meant to be.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. It's strange, though. Yeah.
Of course, you're actually the vocalist in the band.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you all now write songs as well.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing, and you know, I've been very aware and saying to Ronan about, like, Ronan's kind of doing songwriting on much longer than the rest of us, you know. Now, the latest single, Graham, our bass player, wrote that one, Home. So I've wrote a couple, you know, I actually co-wrote Shartone Love on the album with Ronan, which was a great experience for me because I never really wrote anything. So this next album now, hopefully, is going to be kind of a collection of the four of us. But I would like to, and I've said this and expressed this to the lads, that I would love to keep Ronan's kind of storytelling, songwriting at the core of the album, you know.
Have you ever done some storytelling before? Where does this storytelling come from?
No, I suppose for me, I was always more fascinated or interested with stories from the darker side of the tracks. And you listen to a lot of songs, and don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of great music out there about speaking about emotions and the emotive side of human nature and all that kind of thing. I love when you listen to a song, and it could be Springsteen or something like that, or even Tom Waits, and he's telling you about a character and, you know, a scene, and, you know, what's happening in the context of that. And it's just fascinating for me that when you sit down with a blank page to write a song, you can go anywhere or be anybody, any time in the world. You know, it's just a phenomenal opportunity. So for me, rather than going too inward, it was more interesting to go to characters around the world and what were they doing. And at the same time, going into their story was still reflective back on human nature. And I don't think you can really write a song without reflecting something of your own character anyway. So that's what appealed to me, you know, is that when you sit down to write a song, you can just be anybody, go anywhere. So rather than, you know, talking about myself and my little problems in suburbia, it was more interesting to go to somebody else who's, you know, got their own story and what are they doing.
What's it actually like when you stand on stage and you look out there and people are singing back the words to your songs, or you're just looking at the crowd that you've always wanted to sing to?
Well, it was last week in Roscommon or whatever, and halfway through it, there was some people then getting up and dancing and that, and I really felt like, as I was going back to the original launch night, I understood then what they meant about electricity in the air, and when you get that energy back, you just, it's like someone topping your battery up and going, go for it, you know, and it's an amazing feeling. Great energy rush.
Finally, what's lies ahead for Tarantella Fall?
Tarantella Fall, I suppose for us, it's to continue writing music that we enjoy and love, to keep recording albums and put them out there, and we're very excited about the next album, which we'll hopefully be releasing next year. And it's to keep that process going and just keep that interaction between ourselves and the audience alive. And finally, I suppose for us, is to keep seeing where we can explore. If it's a case that we find ourselves repeating ourselves, I think the interest is going to go for us. It's to see where we can push this and go next with it. And as long as you're still keeping that buzz and that energy going, that's where we want to be.
So your current single, Home, is out right now.
Correct. So it can be downloaded on iTunes for a measly 99¢. Worth every cent.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to hear your next album.
It's beautiful.
Good night.
Thanks a million.
I've walked down the city streets, they cannot touch me now. I talk to